You are listening to the Movie Clubhouse Podcast. Tune in multiple times a week for brand new reviews. Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Movie Clubhouse Podcast. The perfect place to be if you love chocolate and movies as well as TV. See what we did there? If you love chocolate, because today we are reviewing WONKA. Yes, the latest movie about the chocolate crazy man is finally here. We have seen it on the big screen and are about to give you our concise thoughts. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's chocolate and candy filled review. As we said, we have just finished watching WONKA a couple of days ago, and this is all of our thoughts and notes. We can start with saying like this: Timothée Chalamet is phenomenal. He does a great job portraying the character of Willy Wonka. And the character of Noodle is also really funny, really adorable, and really great. I was not blown away by this movie. It wasn't that great or that good. But it has a funny and colorful story with some great performances from Chalamet. But it isn't that much more, I'm afraid, so to say. Overall, the characters in this movie are really interesting, funny, and they have some really interesting dynamics and personalities. So on that part of the film, it's more than fantastic, basically. So when it comes to the acting and characters, as I said, Timothée Chalamet is phenomenal, charming, as he always is in most of his projects. The character of Noodle is funny, adorable, and one of the best parts of the film, I would say. Olivia Colman's character, I don't really know what she's called. Miss Scrubba, maybe? Scrub, if you know what I mean, if you have seen the film. Scrub. Miss Scrub, I think she's called. Or that would be a fitting name for her if she isn't called that already. We'll call her Miss Scrubba. Olivia Colman's Miss Scrubba is also a really important part of this film, I would say. She's a great character that's really interesting and really funny for the most part. When it also comes to the other parts of the character list, we have Murray MacArthur playing a ship's captain. So Bertel Kaplan playing Showshine Boy. Kobna Halbrook Smith playing Officer Affable. Calla Lane is playing Noodle. And Matilda Tucker is playing Young Mother. Mrs. Scrubbit was the name of the Mrs. Coleman's character. Miss Scrubbit. Slugworth is played by Peterson Joseph. Fickle Grubber is played by Matthew Bayton. And that was all, I think. Prod Nose is played by Matt Lucas. Tom Davis is a Bleacher. So that was pretty much all of the important characters, I think. And I think all of them did a fantastic job. This was a movie with some really dynamic and expressive characters. It wasn't the most expressive acting I've seen, since I love expressive acting, but it was some really solid acting still. I also forget to mention that there are some additional characters. For example, like the priest in this movie is played by Rowan Atkinson, and he does another really fun performance, even though he doesn't get that much screen time. He's a really fun part of the movie. Love Rowan Atkinson. Such a stunning actor, basically. Love Mr. Bean also. So I would say that the character chemistry in this movie is basically fabulous. The chemistry between Chalamet's character and the Noodle character is really, really adorable, and they have a great relationship. So Timothée Chalamet is basically fantastic in this movie. Same goes for most of the other characters as well. They are fantastic. When it comes to the story of this movie, I think the story is an interesting enough good story. It's a lot about family, and it's a good balance in terms of light, funny, and darker tones and aspects. This movie is basically all about dreams, not getting too much of the good things, sharing and caring with all the people around you, basically. And it's also about chocolate, of course, chocolate monopoly, basically, and monopoly in general. And also, to finally, the last thing this movie is about is that you should be careful what you get yourselves into. That you can see a lot with Willy Wonka signing this contract in the beginning of the movie, if you know what I mean, if you have seen it. I did not really see a clear way for Wonka to have this dark change into the second movie. This is supposed to be a prequel to the Gene Wilder movie from 71, I think. I think it's that movie. I have seen it a long time ago. Can't remember a lot about it. Will rewatch it probably soon. But I can't really see a clear path for Wonka to go from this Wonka we see today in this Wonka movie to the Gene Wilder variant. It's a little bit more darker, I would say. So it isn't this clear path or clear red line between the movies, or red string. But it is a prequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from 71. So it is what it is, basically. I think the ending of this movie was better, but the opening wasn't really my cup of tea, basically. I think the opening was okay. It had some musical numbers involving it. The ending was also a musical number. Spoiler alert, it's a lot of music elements in this movie, because this movie is a musical. That should be a warning going into this film. This is a musical. The songs in this film, most of the songs were great. They were okay songs. Only a few really good ones, though. As I said, if you have seen the movie, Scrub. That was a pretty good song. It'd stick with you after watching the film. Scrub. They sang a bit too much in the film overall, I think. It got a little bit, not annoying, but we got a little bit too used to it towards the end, basically. Another part of the movie, when it comes to visual effects and technical aspects of the film, I think the CGI is great. There are some animals in this film, there are some animals. And I don't know if this giraffe that's in the film is CGI or if it's a real giraffe. I think it's CGI. It must have been CGI for some of the shots at least. It's really a Last of Us moment, if you know what I mean. It looked great overall. A little bit weird movements. You can see it was CGI at times, at least. But it worked. The chocolate in this film, also the chocolate that Willy Wonka makes, looks really delicious and colorful. You definitely want to take a bite out of them, basically. The chocolate effects also, when he makes some of the chocolates, and the effects involving the factory, or his small portable factory, looks funny and looked as real as they can get for an effect like that. There were some beautiful shots in this film, some darker shots, but overall it looked really good, basically. However, I would say this like this. There was some weird but funky editing and cuts towards the film. Some weird cuts I didn't really like, or some weird transitions that didn't feel right for this movie, or at least for me, not right for me watching this film. But I don't know about that. I would be happy to know what you thought about that if you have seen the film. Let us know in the comments if that's the case. When it comes to the environment and the set design for this movie, I think it was fitting for this type of story, the environment. Nothing to especially note about this. It didn't blow me away. It was nothing that I would remember 10 years from now. But I think the sets and especially the chocolate factory set looked really beautiful. I would like to have seen more of Wonka's backstory, however, his journey before coming to this little town where he's to set up his chocolate shop. Maybe battling some big creatures with some action to getting some special ingredients, basically. I would have liked to see some more of that. But there are also really some specific moments in this film, some highlights. For example, there are some fantastic dance moves that are played out by Timothée Chalamet. And there are some really funny moments. There are also a lot of family drama in this movie. This movie is part family, not all family drama, but it's part family drama. That sets up some interesting dynamics between the characters. But I think I just wanted to mention that. One character that we really need to talk about, though, is Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa. That character was portrayed in a great way. It got a little bit annoying towards the end, if I would say it like that. But he did a great job playing that character. As good of a job as you can do playing a character with the orange face and green hair, basically. The Chocolate Cartel, as the villains in this film, I think they were as great of chocolate villains as you can get chocolate villains, basically. Nothing fantastic, but I think they did a okay job. They weren't the most frightening villains, but chocolate monopoly is basically frightening, I guess. Monopoly is frightening overall, I assume, at least. I have some suggestions also for the director of this film. And that is, would like to see more darkness to this movie. When watching Wonka, this is a family movie, of course. But personally, I would have liked to see some more darker tones to the film. Some more tension. That is at the highest on my wish list for Wonka, or a Wonka sequel to the prequel, I guess. There were some dark moments in this film, but not dark enough, I would say. But you can't get so dark when it's a family movie, I know that, so it's fine otherwise. But I would have liked to see some more darker tones at times. And this is indeed a family movie, of course, so you can't get how dark you want with it, basically. And maybe, as I said, some more action to Wonka battling some creature, or he does battle people in the movie, but not any funky creature or weird-looking creature with some action scenes. That would be nice to see. So overall, I would give Wonka a rating of 4 out of 5 stars. Great acting and characters, some good enough story, but didn't blow me away overall. A bit too much music in the film that did not really work for me. But it's a really enjoyable family movie if you're going with your family to the cinema for some nice Christmas activities, basically. And I would have liked to see a darker and more realistic tone to the film. That is pretty much the highest on my wish list for Wonka. So that's basically been our review for Wonka. It is now playing in theater, so we encourage you to go out and watch it yourself and form your own opinion about the movie. That is so important. Form your own opinion about the movie. Don't just listen to what I have to say. Form your own opinion also. And if you want to tell us about your own opinion, we will be so happy to listen and hear what you have to say. So reach out to us at the comments or on any of our socials or in the mail that's in the show notes on this episode. So that has been all for this review. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, really important if you want to hear more of our episodes. We're dropping episodes multiple times a week by now, so that's really fantastic. And if you want, you could also leave a review. It helps us a lot and helps this podcast grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So it will be so kind of you to do that. But that has been all for today. We hope you're all still doing great out there. And until we see you guys the next time, have a great time watching.